this time. Maybe it will because it knows that it's Motivational Monday, and they'll ask, yes, the chat is up. Yay! I made it, you all. I made it. I made it. I made it. Motivational Monday. So I might as well just scoop this time back to 7:30. That's what I'm thinking. Because I go back. How you doing, Lady A? How are you? Yes, y'all. I made it back. I made it back. I made it back. Look, just the word motivation all by itself is enough to get me motivated. I don't know about y'all, but that's a powerful word. That's a powerful word, and we know it is because more and more people are starting, and that's what I like. We got all these other crazy trends that's going on out here, and people like to catch on to a whole lot of other stuff, all the little TikTok dances and all that, and that's all fun, this stuff. But what we need to be doing is trying to make sure that we make it a trend to encourage one another and to do more positive things is what the world needs now. It used to be a little song back in the day. Y'all remember what the song to say? What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing. Y'all know, yeah, y'all remember that? I don't remember right off back who sung it because I'm sure it came out when I was a little girl or maybe even before. I'm a 1975 baby. So, but I remember that song, and I don't know if it was Donna Summer or whoever it was, but I told y'all my family was into a lot of music, and so I just remember sweet songs like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Sister Lady. Hey, Instagram, I'm back. Motivational Monday. Y'all see my goodies back here? I got those on sale at the Solar. The organic whole view of them. Yes. And so that's gonna be part of our cooking show. Come this Wednesday and Friday. I'm going to wind up doing it. So we'll switch a room. For those who all have seen it, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for you all support. I am gonna put in a little information, give a few more of you all time enough to come in. So y'all stay tuned. Bear with me. And I don't like that this top is doing what it's doing, but it's all right. We're still motivated to keep on moving forward. Okay, here we go. Let me put this in. How was y'all weekend? How was y'all Father's Day weekend? And Happy Father's Day every day for those of y'all that everybody had to have one. But happy Father's Day to everyone. I wish every man in my life happy Father's Day. And I did a quick little line for everyone that was fathers or that has been like one. And so I'm just thankful that I had one because it's not as common. I know it's up a little higher, y'all, this time. It's up a little higher. I got to make sure I get that position good enough. I had a very important call this morning from a concerned family member. And so here we go again, y'all. I'm going through it again. Y'all cannot say that Dr. Chef Felicia Ann is ever playing around with y'all. I just know that much with everything that has transpired. And I've heard it for years ago that they say that when you set out to do something, just expect oppositions. And so I've never thought, I'm be honest, in my wildest dreams that just to come before the people to do something motivational, something positive. Hey, Sister Dottie, Girl Rising. That I would get so many opposition. They're going to show you though what they say. Hey, when you on to something, that's when you get all that. Y'all gonna see me do that a lot. And then that's when you got to most definitely put your adversary to run with all that. And I don't mean physically fighting, even though physics starts in the mind. It is a physical experience, but more so it's the spiritual because it's in the energy. It's in what you put in there. And you all see I have a whole lot of energy, a whole lot. So I know that means that to whom much is given, much more is not just required, but it's going to be challenged. And so I'm always up for it because I've been created for them through the help of God. That is clearly that even I'm learning through the journey just how much more God is trying to get a lot of more things from out of me. And he's trying to make and mold me in this process, in this trying, but yet very rewarding process of life. and this journey, because how many know you can't really come before and be an inspiration to anyone without having to go through something that's done put you in a position to where you have to be inspired to. Does that not make sense? And what happens is that because we think in most cases, and I'm gonna go into prayer, I just want to give a little bit more time for you all to come in. Few ones to come in since I'm starting behind. Yes, that new time's gonna have to be 7:30. So what I'm gonna wind up doing is saying I'm gonna be starting at 7, but be looking forward to tune in by 7:30 because I'm not satisfied. Don't think for one second that I'm satisfied with just how many times I had to do the late thing. But we creatures of habit. We get things started. And yeah, most of it is the fact that I'm not that techie whiz, and I'm trying to give everybody their break for now because I'm getting started early. And in a bit, yes, my timing may change a little bit. It may change up to a later time for some of you all. You all just have to let me know or text in and let me know that you like the time or that you would want another time, because this is about you all and you all getting that chance. I'm just typing in right fast. The cash out people keep telling me, remember, put the cash out. Remember, put the cash out in. That's still put the cash out in. I was like, y'all know I don't come on here to be worried about. Don't get me wrong, God knows a need, but I don't come on here worried about all that. I'll just be thankful to be alive, and I'll be thankful to be able to get a chance to get in here and to be able to do what God has chosen and called me to do. That's what I'm more expecting. And it's not that I don't need, it's not that, but it is, I could be one of the ones that's just got a lot of faith and confidence that when I need what I need and what I need, God, he does. He always impresses on somebody's mind to give and to help me. And I'm thankful for that. And it's been like that all my life. All my life, whether it was a word of encouragement, whether it was a friend in need, indeed, whether it was financial, was what God's always provided. I cannot say that his word has not come back to me to where he said he would not leave his seed begging bread. And so I just simply don't believe in it because it's not been my experience. And I'm thankful that it is. And it is so that he said that we have not because we ask not either. But I've been on both ends, and where God has had me set to where I'm on the spectrum more so to where he just will not have me begging bread. And I'm thankful for that. No matter how many transitions, no matter how many moves I've had to make, no matter whatever it is I need, God always hit that phone and say, okay, what is it that you need? And so I'm thankful. And I know that's because of me obeying the Spirit of God and being a giver myself. And so when you do that from the heart, and it's only for those who got the heart to do it. And God gives it to you. And I had got a good word of wisdom. I'm going to go into the prayer. I had got a good word of wisdom. Hey, Sister Lori. I had got a good word of wisdom that came in over the week while I was making some major life-changing decisions. And they were saying how it was making me to know that we have to think about it. We are set in a place, in a position in life to where God wants us clearly to be in a place to where we acknowledge that we need him. We acknowledge that we have to be reminded of the path and the course that he has set us on. No matter how many distractions, no matter how many bad decisions or just different kind of choices and decisions that we think that we're making for ourselves. And that usually happens when you don't know your full purpose. And I use the term full very lightly because I think that does come with a day-by-day choice and decision that you make, because we know that your enemy always going to be throwing something at you to get you off course when they don't want to see you doing the good and perfect will of God in your life and in others around you. So, and a lot of times I realize people don't even realize that they're even being used by them until you call it out. That's what I've learned. And that can go for any of us. That's not for no one particular person. It's called distractions. And we have to understand that in order to strengthen the focus factor, distractions are necessary. Does that mean that you do away with all your distractions? Does that mean that you're able to do away with all your distractions? Can you do away with all of them? No, you cannot. You can't kill all of your distractions. Children can be a distraction, and you got children. You just gonna just do away with them. Preferably, you don't have the Jeffrey Dahmer spirit, or the spirit of many, unfortunately, that has fallen into mental illness or had their evil moment to where they just do away with their children for whatever reason. But for the most part, I'm speaking about most of us, or else this world would not be populated with us. That if every parent, they got distracted every time a child had done something or came in and interfered while they're cooking, while they're working, while they're doing whatever, trying to get off to work, trying to talk on the phone, then the mother would have never learned what we call having selective hearing. And I know if Sister Najee gets a chance to tune in, she'll be able to agree with me, because she got a lot of beautiful bundles of joy with a lot of energy running around. And some of you all on your own daycares and things of that nature, you know what I'm talking about. That strengthens the mind to have to focus more so on what it is that you have to focus on. Hey, bro, how you doing? That strengthens the mind to have to focus on what you have to focus on, especially if you want that has a lot of sugar and you're very unhealthy minded and you're always been distracted. See, I told you I was the sugar addict. I didn't like to consume a lot of meat. Toxic meat. It always sickened me to my stomach, even as a child. I told you I was the firstborn grandchild, and my grandma. I remember my mother going to stay with my grandmother for a little bit when I was about 4 years old, going on 5, and it was 9 of them all together. 7 of them was at home. 2 of them was in and out. 2 of my uncles was in and out of the home. And so we would all get together. My grandmother would get together and she would fix up big breakfasts. And that includes sausages, grits, cornbread, milk, eggs, bacon. And I remember they telling me to come in. I had a little sister. My little sister was only about 2 at the time. And she would come in. And I remember her sitting on the other side of the table. And every time they would watch me. So I've been on the spot all my life. That's what I'm trying to say. All my life. And so I've always had that sense that somebody is watching me. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Mike had a song. They say I always feel like somebody is watching me, because coming up, and I didn't understand that then, the effects that it would have on me now. But being at the table, my uncles would be watching like vultures. Yeah, we know Fee. They call me Fee. Oh, yeah, we know Fee ain't gonna want to eat her sausages. Yeah, so we wait, and they would be Fee. They would be trying to jump and say, Fee, you want your sausages? I'll take it. Because I was still getting made to play. And then finally, thank God for the wisdom of my grandma, Willie Mae Jones. That's her maiden name. And then later on, Hill, but my grandfather had to see she was a widow. And I'm like, man, every time now I'm coming to the breakfast table, I'm thinking about which one of my uncles do I like the best so I can give them the sausage. And think about it, at 4 years old, you're not thinking about that. You're just thinking about who treated me the nicest, who I had the most fun with. And so, of course, it was naturally always Uncle Rod, because Uncle Rod was always, as the teenager, he fixing on bikes, and he into the music, and he getting us all revved up. He trying to be a little young DJ, and I had the most fun. He played cards. He taught me all the extra stuff. He took walks with me. So I'm choosing Uncle Rod's to poison. So I'm telling you now that in life, that was a good distraction. I needed to be distracted. I needed to understand. So even as a child, I was thinking, what is it about this meat that makes me feel eerie at the stomach, to where and then what is it about it that got all of my uncles wrestling over trying to get that piece of meat from me? Why is it good to them and it's bad for me? And so my grandmother finally, she would use, and back then, of course, the milk wasn't as toxic as it is now. She would say, no, it's okay. We know what she likes. She like her daddy. We're going to give her some sweet cornbread and some milk. to settle her stomach. And so all eyes would be on me, being the only one at the table eating cornbread and milk. And I had a full addiction to sweet cornbread. All like the milk what kind of swayed out, but I did. I kept on doing the milk, the whole milk in school. I'll gulp that down so fast, but for some reason I didn't care much for it when I was coming home. So clearly it was a different kind of brand. Later on, become lactose intolerant, as we called it. My system couldn't take it. Nevertheless, I'm telling you, all of these distractions, all of these little experiences that I had, and some of you all have had them too in your life. When you look back over your life, there's a song, when I look back over my life and I think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. I got a testimony. I got it. And then they just break it. I got a testimony. I got a testimony. Y'all don't know about that. See, I was raised in church, but hey, well, we get down. I got a testimony. And they be happy about it. I got a test. Then we get to clap and say, I come from a head clapping, foot stomping, tongue talking, apostolic Pentecostal church. So they got us revved up to understand that it's okay. You got a testimony. Be thankful that you made it through the test. So this is what Motivational Monday is going to start off about. And now that I got to fill you all in, I'm not going to wait. Hey, that pretty now, Jay. I'm not getting ready to sit back and just wait for a whole bunch of people to come on. No, I'm finna go straight into our quick motivational prayer. And then we're going to get going with this, you all, because I got a testimony. Okay, y'all. Father, we thank you so much for blessing us to come before your people on another Monday. We thank you for breath. We thank you for wisdom. We thank you for knowledge. We thank you for the mind to be able to rise after a full week of just trying to do our festivity things for those who did, for those who have been working all week. We just thank you for giving us the mind to want to be motivated to just get through the rest of this week. We thank you, or just through the rest of this day. We ask that you comfort the minds, the hearts of those who were led to have to remember the fathers that may not be here anymore. We ask that you continue to comfort their hearts, myself included. We thank you and we praise you for everything that you are going to do and everything that you've already done in our lives. Bless my tongue, my mouth, my spirit to be able to penetrate anything that's negative that's going on in different one's life that may tune in now and later. And we ask that you bless our going in and our coming out as we go about. Help them to be an inspiration to those who are around them as well too. In the name of Jesus and Yeshua HaMashiach, we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. So here goes. I'll tell you now, this is what happened on Saturday. On Saturday, my uncle, he transitioned. My uncle Roy Wallace transitioned. Some of you all have tuned in, some will tune in later. And you know, I've talked about, some of you may have caught it, some of you may have not. Where my uncle, that's my father's eldest brother, and he was a twin. He was 68 years young and full of energy in life. Ever since I know him, same height as me, wasn't even a tall man. For the most part, stayed in his BMI. This is why I speak the way I speak. See, I come from that other perspective that don't leave no excuses for us not to focus on what it is that we have to do. How God has no respect to person, but he does have a set time and appointed time for all of us. We don't know the cost and what cost it. And at this point, y'all should know by now that I'll leave that to everybody else to break down all of these costs. Because the only thing that God is telling me to focus on is what it is that we're supposed to be doing up until that appointed time comes for each and every one of us. How we are supposed to be taking care of our lives and getting ourselves prepared physically, naturally, and spiritually for when that one day comes when we have to transition on home to glory too. And so this was my uncle that I may mention too, that was the George Washington Carver of the family. That's what I called him. Now, some of y'all know I'm born on the day of George Washington Carver. Never knew that it was just something about his reading his story coming up that really pricked my heart. And then years later, 30 something years, almost 40 years later, I found out I was looking through a book and it was showing this date that he was born. It was May the 24th. Now, if they fabricated the date, I don't know, but I always felt a strong connection. So, of course, later on, it took my father passing in 2015 to make Nina know where my strong desire or the DNA link and how it was passed on to me. And at this point, with all of the hundreds and hundreds of cousins, first cousins alone, we can't even get to the second and third, that it was passed on to me to practice the natural way, the holistic way, and from a godly standpoint. He was the eldest son of 24 that took and explained to me as we're riding in the car after my father had transitioned, after we're coming from the funeral, and they're going to my office. And I explained to him what I would miss about my daddy. I said, I miss the long walks. I miss it. I said, you know what I do, Uncle? I do it because Daddy always, and Mama was always presenting fruits and stuff too. I said, but she cooked a lot of other stuff too, and it was so good. I said, but Daddy, I just remember it always being a single fruit. He said, and I remember thinking that sometimes that trying to figure out what was the difference at 3 years old, what was the difference between a tomato and an apple? Because he would hand me that tomato like it was an apple, and we would go on long walks. The sun just hitting, I'd be sweating, get tired, and you good? And he'll hand me a fruit. You hungry? To this day, I'm called a tomato head. So if I ever stood on the stage and had to tell a joke, and somebody thought that they was gonna throw a tomato at me, I'll be catching it and eating and saying thank you. I'll be looking at it. Is it organic? Is it non-GMO? If not, I might throw it back. See, all these little defining moments that add up in our life, and we don't know that almost 30, 40 years later, some of you all 50, 60 years later, that this is the reason why the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Just like healthy food is. Just like your spiritual encounters that God allow you to experience that's trying to help develop the fruits of the Spirit in you. It's a terrible thing to waste. It's a terrible thing to ignore. It's a terrible thing to forget. See, Satan knew that if he could get the idle mind, which is Satan's workshop, he understood that you would forget a lot of the vital things that's taking place in your life that was there to set to make you into who you were supposed to be. Without the memory of certain things that were vital, that were key experiences in your life, most of us wouldn't be inspired to do what we do. That is good. Most of us say all the time, well, because I didn't have a dad, I understand how it was, and I want to help, be a mentor to somebody else. Most of, well, I didn't have no children. I wish I was a father. So I'm going to go ahead and help this young man out because I know how it is to need to find my way. Some of you all, you are inspired to go find men. If you had children and you didn't have a husband or uncles or grandfathers to step in, you went and found that father figure. Look at Instagram messing up again, y'all. Y'all better transfer over to the YouTube station. I got it in the link this time. If you scroll through, you will see it, Instagram, because I see it from freezing up on you all. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of times I'll go to Facebook instead. On Facebook, I am in as Felicia and Jordan, and underneath it'll say the caption Dr. Chef. And then here on YouTube, my channel is at Dr. Chef Felicia and Wellness Channel. I know it's long. I'm going to figure out a way to shorten it for you all. Dr. Chef Felicia and Wellness Channel. And I'm saying this now to make you guys to understand that I understand that now. I remember thinking to myself, why in the world am I experiencing that? I always thought that every experience that were good and bad was set me up. It was something that I was going to need. And then later on in life, I would hear from my elder, Leon Smith, from the church that I grew up in. He was the husband to the pastor, and he would say, look, you might not be experiencing such and such and this, and I'm teaching you all these certain things just so you can put it on the shelf. Kind of like how we put our seasonings on the shelf. Kind of like how we get and we take and we utilize a good book and we put that on the shelf. Kind of like that. We take the books and we put them on the shelf. And you never read it. Because you knew just through the book, just through reading through the index and the intro, and through looking at the page that it had to been about health and wellness. So let me look into that. Looking at some good books. Prayers. This book is Prayers That Availeth Much by Jermaine Copeland. And even though I don't follow everything that they do and they very traditionalized, it's a powerful, good prayer healing book. It has everything in this book, and I'm going to be going through it because it was given to me by a very spiritual woman. And that was my first time when thinking about coming towards you all, see if I hadn't come. I was looking through and I said, some said, thumb through there again because I love collecting good reads and good books. But this was my first, probably about fourth prayer book. And some said, thumb through there and look at the titles. Healing for Damaged Emotions. Victory over depression. Victory over pride. Victory in healthy lifestyle. That's what y'all going to get a little bit of segment of this because I haven't read this yet. So we're going to be learning together. See? Victory over fear. Victory over overcoming a feeling of abandonment. Do you know how many in our Black culture of young children felt abandoned during this weekend because of the many traps that's been laid up for our men not to be involved in their children's life? It's an epidemic, and it has been for a long time. My cousin felt that. My first cousin, Yolanda, felt it. That's why I asked for prayer. She was the only child of my uncle, only daughter, and a true divine daddy's girl. Married with children still. My daddy, he done planted gardens all in the back for her, apple trees and everything. And I'm there just like, When she called me, I broke down. Because this was the first Father's Day that I had in mind. And I want to go visit him, see how he's doing now. I was going to do it 2 weekends ago. But I wound up having to take care of other things. And I was like, man, I want to pick Uncle Roy's brain. That's what I was thinking, because I never think that I know enough. I never think I know enough. I'm glad to be a student of life. I'm not trying to master it. I know who the master of this universe is, and it's not He-Man and it's not She-Ra. Some of y'all that's old enough know what I'm talking about. So I'm saying this to say when she said it to me, I'm thinking, because when Daddy was busy working and doing everything they was doing, remember my mom and Dad got together when they were teenagers. They all grew up together. They never married. They were first loves to each other. My father made a vow that if I don't marry your mama, I'm not marrying nobody, and still went on and have many other relationships. This is my biological dad. And he kept to that until the day he died. And then turn right around. This is my testimony, you all, to help motivate you all, to give you a little bit of glimpse, because this is not something that I'm ashamed of at all. You should know that, or else I wouldn't be sharing it. Shame is something that's set up to cause fear in us and doubt in us. It's set up to cause you to be insecure. And it makes you believe false lies, false narratives, like you're the only one that's going through what you're going through, in order to isolate you, to get you to a place to where you feel like, woe is me. And as long as you in a woe is me type of mindset, y'all know, y'all gonna keep on. Y'all gonna start knowing me. They might have me one day on Saturday Night Live talking about some, with a rap on saying, in the mindset. I don't know, I might have just spoke of something. In a mindset that I can't get out of this slump, that it's just me. It's never just you. Just like it's not just you on this earth. It's never just one ant, it's many. It's never just one dog, it's many. It's never one wolf, they come in packs. It's never one fish in the sea, it's billions of them. Even where there's one sun, there is a moon that looks just like it. Just got a different hue and a different ray depending on what part of the world you come from. There's no one finger. You got more than one eye, even if the other one has been taken out. There's no one teeth, one tooth rather. But there is one tongue. And I question that when we get down to the biology of the body, and you see how I understand how to break that down, we're going to question that too. But it did say that it's a very unruly thing. It does have to be tamed. That we do whatever we speak it out of the heart, the abundance of the mouth, it speak it. And I've done that this week. Some of you all have caught it, but I can promise you this, I don't speak lies. But it does not mean that everything that's said has to be said. I'm still learning that too. But when you have a mindset of that, I don't want to be defeated and I don't want to be in a place to where I am perplexed and I'm not growing. I told you, I'm a May baby. I don't know how not to grow up. I don't know how to. It's not in my nature not to grow up. It's not in my spirit not to get stronger. I'm not made like that. I'm not made to fall and not do everything that I can to get back up, and neither are you. I'm not made to understand that I made an error and not be able to say, I'm sorry, I apologize that you took it that way, but that's the truth. I'm not made in no relationship. Nobody, God has already shown it to me. I went through all of my hurt. I went through all of my sicknesses. I went through all of my broken stages. I went through all of the fear just to get to this place to where now at 48 years young, the same age that my grandmother was when the Satan or when she was taken out of here from the lack of knowledge, that God knew he was birthing already through her firstborn daughter, me. He said, it's okay, you can take them, but I got another one that I'm about to birth. And just like the story of Mary, everybody wondering, well, who's the daddy? Well, where he at? It's Apolli, huh? Oh, look, that's that child got a teenager that's having that baby. I grew up feeling like, because I knew how smart my mother was. I could tell. She was good with numbers. She was good with order. She was good with a lot of things. I grew up feeling guilty. Then I said, maybe if she wouldn't have had me so young, she would have went soared in her education. I didn't know no better. All I knew is that she told us that we got to finish school, go to college, be something, make something out of your life. Most of you all were told the same thing. If not from your mother, she was told it from your father, so from somebody. That was the way, that was the truth, and that was the light. Well, I found out different, y'all. Everything that I'm sharing with you now doesn't come from a PhD class. Everything I'm sharing with you now doesn't come from a doctorate class. It don't come from a master's degree class. It doesn't come from a bachelor's or an associate. It don't even come from certification or license in anything under this sun. Anything. It comes from everyday life experience with real people, real experiences, real encounters. And now we got this plan with the mind that everything is not what it looks and seems. It's not when we're talking about technology. It's not. You're taking the images of our life experiences and you're playing with them and you're making it into an illusion. And the scriptures speak about that too, how we'll be put under strong illusion. Where now, whatever you see now we have it where AI and in a minute, we ain't gonna be able to say that. I'm gonna be surprised to start messing up now. But AI can take there and make you think that you're saying something that you're not, make me sound like I'm saying something that I'm not saying. A strong illusion. But those who have had a personal encounter with me, those who have had consultations with me, they'll learn right like, wait a minute, that don't sound like Dr. Shelf. That don't sound like my sister. I had a sister call in to me before and said, no, I heard something that was negative, that was really pretty bad. But I knew, she said, because she talked to me, I knew that wasn't you. I knew it was the enemy trying to plant a negative seed. Because I know your spirit. I knew that this was a cowardly move. I said, well, thank you, Father. All praises go back to God. Does this mean that I'm perfect? Absolutely not. That's why I'm doing exactly what the scripture. I'm striving for it. I can err in my ways and get back on track because I got a word. I've had good teachers. I've learned that to have too much pride will cause you to fall. You can be strong in Christ. You can be strong in everything that you do. You can have much knowledge in what you're doing. You ain't got to be prideful about it. Prideful means that can't nobody teach you nothing. Can't nobody show you nothing. Can't nobody call you out in your mess without you thinking that it's your job to prejudge them and make them feel some type of way. That's pride. And we all have been there one way or the other. I have. It's hard, but it's not because mine is I don't like failing at nothing that God has set before me to do. That's mine. And I'm sure it's a lot of you all's. This health journey is a challenging journey for most of us. It is not easy. It's a lie. A parasite and a worm trapped up in the gut is set up to eat too. It's in survival mode too. We started off as little bitty worms and we grew up. So do a tapeworm. It wants its sugar. It's not easy. Well, since you know it's not easy, Dr. Shelf, then why would you be so hard on us? That's why I'm not. It is safe to say that 90% of us have them in us. We began. That is the nature. That is the order that God made. And we quick to say, from dust we came, and from dust we shall return. Well, understand what's in the dust. Understand what's in the dirt. Understand that if you come from it and you see plants and trees and all fruits and everything growing from it, and you come from it, and if for those who are believers in how Adam was created from the earth, and that God just breathed his life within him, whether you believe it's a man God or not. See, I dash all through all these different ideologies. I say, because I can, all praises be to God. Yes, I'm known for that too. My season in my brain is set up to understand that even in the midst of confusion, that he can bring mental clarity. I'll go there with some of you all. Okay, let's say that that's the case scenario. We're here. We have microscopes now. You have a bowel movement now. Worms can come out of you. They're in you. Let's say that you can debate all day long how we came about, whether it was a woman prevailing and the Spirit of God went into it, whether or not we just poofed out from the air. At the end of the day, there is flesh here. So I don't get caught up in all these different type of ideologies and how we was created, where you come from, all that. It's just so fascinating. We so intelligently, and watch myself, we so intelligently dumb. Because intelligence is an intel, it's an information that's going into the brain, and you have figured out a way to word things in a way that sounds so profound to the dumbfound. Yeah, y'all gonna get a host today. I'm stirred up. My uncle has transitioned. Our George Washington Carver has transitioned. And I know that I am being tried and tested. Not by God. He said he won't put no more on us than we can bear. And I am a believer. I believe that. The problem is that most of us don't know how much we can bear. Because you ain't never experienced this before. You watch other people experience it. And we said it in ourselves, baby, because we saw somebody else cry, because we saw somebody else go through, because we saw how much pain it was. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to experience that. Oh, no, I will. I hope I never. Girl, whoo, that would just break me. You just spoke death into your life. I said it before, too. And then I had to go back before God in prayer and say, Lord, if ever I have to experience this when my mother and my father leave here. Because I already knew what it felt like to have a grandmama and granddaddy not here. I said, then please give me strength. And he's so simple, y'all. Not nature is so simple, y'all. It's just as simple as that when you realize that you're getting a little weak or you get cold, a little chilly in the house and you want to walk outside because the sun is showing bright, all you got to do is walk outside and get that sunshine to hit you. Ooh, okay, and then turn around and go back in. It's just as simple as that. It's just as simple as us taking out our time to understand that you don't control everything. So why in the world are we trying to control each other? You didn't make me. And I didn't make you. But we surely have learned how to make each other sick. We surely have learned how to get on each other's nerves. And I cultivated one called preserve nerve. That is my coin. You heard it first from me. That is my saying. My preserve nerve. When you get on my preserve nerve, I shared it before. That means that my patience, you done surpassed all the patience that God himself has given to me. And then I still got to take me and my preserved nerve right back to my creator, right back to God and say, Lord, whoosh, you know how much I held back. Lord, you know how much you put in me. Lord, you know. Lord, you know. Help me with this. Because I don't want my tongue to have to kill this person. Because I see what's going on. Maybe they don't understand yet. I'm going to say it again. To whom much is given, much is required. He didn't give you his gift for us to take and for us to pimp him with it. He didn't give you gifts for you to take advantage of nobody with it. And I'm saying for all of us that's gifted, this is not for one person. I can't stop no more than nobody else that God has given and that's placed a call on their life from doing what they have to do. I can't stop theirs and don't have a desire to. And the same go for me and you. This is something that we have to learn. The motivation comes from a move. People in the wheelchair, you don't stop. That's how I started off. Working in an old home. See, since I look as a little girl, seeing my Auntie Michelle, arthritis, inflammation, swelling up in her ankle. She started to limp. And one of my uncles called her Olympian. Coming up in the black family, they going to join you. They don't matter what. And she would just be hopping around. And I remember the times when she would cry. And that's why I learned empathy. She would cry, and she would sit in the seat at 9 years old, saying, I don't know what's wrong with my ankle. And I was just 4 years old. And don't worry, I got tears of joy. If y'all see me cry, it's okay, because strong, so-called strong Black women got to learn how to release the stress of tears and keep pushing. Men too. It's a myth. Don't give me that stuff about men don't cry. Keep on doing that. That's why you got high blood pressure. I said it. Keep on holding in those tears. That's why you're having migraines and headaches. Keep on holding them in. I too wrestled with it. And I would watch my auntie, and she would sit down, and as a little girl, I'm just thinking like kids think, I want to go outside and play with Auntie Louise, because she'd take us to all these fun places. We're eating on honeysuckle flowers and pulling the stuff out of it, tasting the honey. We going and stealing the grapes and stuff from the neighbors, from little vineyards. We running around. And I remember watching her and looking at her and thinking, what is that have your ankle swollen like that? And sometimes she would sit there and then she would just cry. And automatically I would cry with her. I would say, Auntie, I'm here. I'm not leaving you. I would say, I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you. I'm staying right here, and we gonna walk together. At 4 years old, I would say, we gonna walk together. Come on. I said, let's at least walk to the door. So even then, I didn't even understand that I was inspired even at 4 years old, and didn't even know it, because I didn't even know what the word meant. And I said, we can walk to the door, and I'll play right here on the porch where you can see me. And that's how I learned how to be animated, y'all. I would do all the little funny little things to it. I would dance, do the ladies robot for her, and she would just crack up laughing with the loudest sound ever. Just crack up laughing. Because I couldn't stand to see her sad. And because I also wanted her to share some of her snacks with me later on. Because she seemed to have all what we thought was the goodies. Now I know that it was helping to cause the inflammation in her ankle. That later on turned into full-blown rheumatoid arthritis that took over her whole body. And by the time my auntie made it to 20, she was on 20 different type of medications that was not helping her at all. Through that, I was inspired to take health occupation and become a nurse. Because I wanted to know, after she explained to me what the side effects and everything that each medication was on, because I got curious. Sometimes it's a good thing to get curious. I explained to her, I said, why would they be giving you? No, I asked her, I said, why would they be giving you different drugs? Because that's what it is. I said, why would they be giving you different drugs, Auntie, that make you feel all these different type of emotions and moods? I said, so I had sense enough to ask, I said, which one is going to help heal your arthritis? And you know what she would say? She said, I don't know. This one make me feel constipated. This one get me real sleepy, so I can't take this in the daytime. This one make my head hurt. This one right here make me lose weight. This one make me eat more. Now, of course, she would know that. She'd been taking it since she was 9 years old, so she had learned her body. So just go to show you how God had created the body to be at a place to where it can sense. It knows what's going on when we're placing toxic things in it. Just like your spirit knows when somebody is saying something, it should know and identify when it sounds like somebody is telling you a lie. Something's supposed to go off with that little sound that says, something don't sound quite right about that. You're supposed to be able to have that in your spirit where you're putting two and two together. You're supposed to know when you come across a lying spirit. But we done been so bamboozled and so drugged up And we're living in so much toxicity to where now all that has been, now we're all in a place to where we don't know what to believe no more. Because we stopped trusting in God, the one who knew how he beautifully and marvelously made us. I'm not surprised when a man say that oh, that's a beautiful woman, or when a woman say, oh, that's a handsome man. I'm not surprised. He beautifully and marvelously made us. Oh, she got nice hands. Oh, she got pretty skin. All I've been placed here to do is to create the balance, making sure that you understand that he didn't just create us to this. You becoming beautiful on the outside or having pretty hair on the outside didn't begin on the outside. It began in the inside, just like in the inside when your mama was carrying you in the womb, in the inside of the sperm of your father, and in the spirit realm before he even entered into your mother's womb for the believers. Will you believe that? Oh, your mind can go to places that's beyond what your eyes can see. This is my motivation. This is my motivation. Understanding that just because life happens, things get broken, relationships fail, or it's been tried. Moves have to take place. This is a part of nature and life. The bird wouldn't have been able to send the messages back in the 16 to 1700s if he couldn't move, because we sure couldn't travel. We didn't have the boats and the ships and that. Well, depending on how much knowledge you have about that, they say that they were there. But I don't really like speaking too much on things where I wasn't there. However, it is coiled in the memory bank of the DNA. When you're healthy, these things come back to you. I know I'm one. I've had the memories of my grandfather, of my, what we call the ancestors, of the ones before me, and have been blessed to be able to speak to my father's father at 21 years young and ask him and say, I don't know what it is. I'm keep having dreams about flying and doing all these different type of navigation things, and that I'm great at it and I'm good at it. Mind you, I didn't know that he was the grandfather that was in the Air Force. I thought it was my great grandfather because it was said in a conversation, and he laughed, and I'm describing to my granddaddy, Roy Wallace Sr. I'm describing to him what's taking place, because he asked me, "What do you like? What do you do? What do you this? What do you that?" Back then, see, they asked the children, they asked the young people. And he would tell me, and I said, I got this urge. I said, I got this thing. I said, and I'm just amazed by the flight. And he said, do you know I was special ops? He said, I was in the Air Force. And I looked up at him. I said, no, the other granddaddy. But he said, no, it was me. Because I hadn't seen him in years, you all. And I said, huh? And he just laughed up a storm at me. He said, oh, you get all that from me. I said, I like the garden. I like nature. My mama keep telling me that I'm like my daddy now. You know how they coming up with like, girl, you like your daddy. Oh, my Lord, you like them. You may look like us, but you act just like them people. And I didn't fully understand. What in the world is that loud noise? That sounds like something big must have got caught up in that chimney. Distractions. Well, I feel sorry for it if it got trapped up in that chimney, because that means that something got hurt. So I'm saying all this to say, y'all, that it's important for us to keep ourselves healthy so that your mind can think right, so that you can put the two and two together. Mathematics is in the brain. It comes from us melanated people first. But But the creation of it clearly comes from God. On the first day, he created. On the second day, he created. On the third day, math, y'all. On the fourth day, he created. And on the fifth day, and on the sixth day, and on the seventh. Genesis 1, go back to it. When he came to man, what did he say? Just for the believers. He said, it needs to help me. It's not good for them to be alone. So why are we surprised when if a man be alone, that some messed up things take place if they don't have the proper help? And what I've learned, even when we're sick, that it's not good for us to be alone. You need a caregiver. You need someone to speak some life into you. You need somebody to help you, like I had to help my auntie Michelle as a little girl. That grew into me helping many more people, thousands of people, all those years later. So what Satan meant for evil by making sure that the candy and the sugar and everything that was going on in the atmosphere at that time could cripple my auntie at 9 years old, that eventually caused her death at 45. So I outlived my auntie, y'all. She was trying her best to get to me. I need to get to my niece. And I didn't know. At the time, I'm dealing with a patient that's trying to help save their life because their family members is about to pull the plug on them on their birthday. And all I got was the pastor. She said she was coming to stay with you. I said, And so it broke my heart. And so through that, God had, and then a year later, Daddy was gone. And so it taught me, then I had to go back to God. I said, well, Lord, why would you give me the ability to do this? Why would you let me get all this? See, we can start questioning. I said, why would you give me the ability to do all this? Why would you? And we have to be careful with that. Because if you asking the question, why, to your creator, then he going to answer. But it ain't going to be always the answer that you want. It's like when a child is begging for something that's not good for them. And you said, no, this is not the time. It's too late for you to be getting some juice, honey. It's 9 o'clock at night. You might not like the answer. Because we're not as in control of everything like we think that we are. Clearly, if this computer, because it was man-made and it shut down on me, that's it. I'm not in control of that. That's it. It's broke. It's done. It's not made in perfection. I don't control that. All I can do is get upset and go try to buy another one. And now they got my money again, them jokers. Y'all understand? So understand what it is. All I'm saying, understand your position. The lion knows what it's supposed to do. The tiger knows what it's supposed to do. The elephant knows what it's supposed to do. The dolphin knows. The ant knows. But for some reason, we've been the most so-called highestly rams as man, as women, as women. So all of a sudden we get confused because we're the only ones that desire to be God. That's why. I believe that's why. We're the only ones that think that just because we were made in his like image. It didn't say the original, like. And I'm more inclined to believe that even if I never read it in the scripture, because we see it taking place now. We got people and powers to be that think that they're supposed to dry the whole earth out and make minerals and make vitamins and then mix and be playing Dr. Frankenstein all over again. And they want to make the decision, even though we all made up basically from the same thing. And you think that you so much better than me that you get the right to wipe out my whole generation? That's playing God. You think that you got the right. You're so perfect and you're so powerful that you have the right. You didn't create me, but you think you got the right to destroy me? Narcissism to the highest form. God complex to the highest form. Well, since I'm done for, I want everybody to be done for. You know you are of your father, Satan. You don't have rights. We live in a state where you have to have copyrights in order to claim something materialistic. In order to get my name, Corn Dr. Chef, I got to pay a trademark to be able to get that corn that's mine. And that's just a freaking title. It's just a word. So how in the world do we get to a place where you think you're supposed to have control over whether or not somebody live or die? We're not supposed to be. This is when you know you have lost your mind. You are not living your life out in the most natural, most fruitful, most fulfilling way. So of course I'm motivated, even though my uncle's gone. He's transitioned on because he left a legacy of full of wisdom. Simple man. Didn't ask for much of anything. Work. I can't even begin to explain to you all of the different things that he could do. It was so amazing. You're a little bitty guy crawling on big top skyscraper on top of buildings. You're a little bitty guy. How do you know thousands of plants and all that? How do your brain even take that in? Now, he did have one of those big foreheads, y'all. That's why I get the forehead from. But clearly his brain wasn't orange because there's too much knowledge there. And could see things that others couldn't see. But do I give that credit to him? No, I give that credit to who created him. I give that credit to that means that, okay, for the time that he gave me, he was there to be a teacher. And he was that for sure. He loved children. Took really good to my daughter, Najee. And I'm telling you now, though, that this is the legacy that you want to be live. Even if your life isn't at that perfected stage, that you want to be able to transition out of here and be done had the greatest impact ever on the lives that's been set before you, on your village. And the way you do that is on the outside and the inside. If Dr. Chef was never challenged with nothing, if I myself is never challenged with nothing, then I don't have a testimony to share with you of how you can overcome. If you were never challenged with nothing, if you never go through no hardship, then you can't tell me how to get out of something that's hard. You can't. All you can do is pass me a book. Pass me somebody, share with me somebody else's testimony. That's what you can do. So I'm glad to go straight to this. Yes, I was going to pull out my watermelon and do my melon. Yes, I am. Somebody said, how long are you going to do that? Until my body say no. Until my body says it's time to try something else. Because I listen to it. I listen to the spirit within it. Even though they say in the flesh dwells no good thing. Well, I can tell you one thing. I can dwell around some good things and put it up in there. Since it don't, then I have to make sure that I have the mind of God that's going to help lead and guide me to the right thing. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct thy path. We only get off track when we don't acknowledge God. That's what I've learned. I don't know about y'all, but that's what I've learned. You only get off track when you are not acknowledging him. And then notice it's just like when a child go out and he go try something and mom and daddy told them not to do it, and then they come back all banged up, beat up, or the car done got in a wreck, and then they come back and they say, didn't I tell you? Yeah, Mama, I'm sorry. Yeah, but I thought I could beat the light. I thought that they was my friends. You thought. You weren't supposed to be thinking at that time. You were supposed to be obeying. You were supposed to be listening to the instructions, to the sound-minded instruction, because mom and daddy done been through that already. That's why all they were doing was warning you, and we don't like to be warned. There is a scripture that said, warning come before destruction. I am a warner too. I'm not a judge. I'm a warner. It's not a fun place to be in. Ain't nothing glorious about it. You won't never want to have to tell somebody something that we don't deem as being a good thing. But then I had to take on the mindset that, you know what, at least I'm being used to try to help save their life. At least God thought enough of me to share it with me, knowing that I cared enough to tell them. And I mean it in the way that I just said it. At least. This is the reason why most of you have the heart that you have. I noticed out of all the gifts, what was shared with me with the pastor that I was telling you about, that's been a great mentor to me. She always states that how she's not perfect. And I admire that about a person that says that, that's able to say that. She states what her flaws are, but then she turned around and she said, do you notice that God gave us many gifts to teach, to heal, to preach? Gave us a lot of gifts to sing. He gave all these different gifts. But where do we see it where he gave us the gift to know the heart? We only know that through action sometimes. And even then, even in actions, people could be doing things for the wrong reason. They could be performing good deeds just to take advantage of you in other areas where they're willing to do 10% because they want 90% from you. So does that mean that you know their heart? No, we do not. It says out of the mouth, out of the abundance of the heart, out of all the things which the heart is connected to the brain, you all. So you might as well say when the Bible is speaking of the heart, my understanding is that he's talking about the brain, because the brain can't function without the heart sitting. That's the reason why that is the most important thing that they wanted to find out, is how to replace the heart, because it's through the pumping of the blood, the muscle of the heart, that it pumps blood through the brain in order for it to function, in order for it to be able to think. So when it says the heart, out of the mind of the person, the mouth speak it. That's how you know the heart. How you know that it's consistent, it'll keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. It'll keep saying it. So if it keeps spewing a lot of negativity, then you know in the heart, the mind, it is toxic. If it keeps saying good things and it's trying to motivate you to do good things, then you know in that mind, it's a good mind. If it keeps on saying how stressed out it is, then it's a stressful mind. Well, because I understand this from my heart, the mind of God that he's given me, I cannot make excuses for why I would acquire this much information, this much knowledge, and not apply it to my life. I refuse. I don't care how many people that are practicing hypocrisy. I refuse. I don't care how many gifts God has given me, and he has given me many. I refuse to take and use the pressure of that to act like God didn't know what he was doing when he gave it to me. And say, oh, and act like he put so much on me that I can bear, when I know it came from my own poor choices and decisions. I'm talking about minds. I don't know about y'all's, but I'm talking about minds. I refuse to curse him to his face and die. That is still a form of blasphemy. You're saying that God placed too much on you than you could bear. You're saying that even though he gave you these gifts, that you don't have enough to share. That's what you're truly saying. And if you don't understand that today, then I'm here. I have been birthed to tell you that, so that you can be motivated to stop making excuses and do what God has placed you here to do. You can't turn around. I posted a post on that, I, me. You can't go around and saying that I am this, I am black, I am this, I am that. Find out what your I am is. Figure it out. Then give me a call and say, thank God for your doctorship. You made me to
you motivated me to say what my I am is. Because is operate in the present. I am is in the present. And you can't be something and not operate in its fullness. Or else you're lying to yourself. You can't say I am a nurse and I don't see that you got a stethoscope and you ain't got no job. You ain't helping nobody. What did you say that you were again? You can't say I'm a mother and you ain't never mothered nobody. You can't say you a healer and you ain't never healed nobody. You can't say that I'm not giving up. And here it is, you giving up every time something comes to press you. You can't say that I am not weak. And every time I look up, you looking weak. You can't say that I am strong. And every time I look up, you ain't got no strength. See, I don't come from a place, not even from the earth. The earth doesn't turn around. The dirt don't look. You will never look at the dirt and the dirt is not dirt. You will never look at a flower and a flower is not a flower. Even in the optical illusions and the artificial flowers, even with the artificial flower, it's still made out to be a flower. It looks like a flower. They didn't take the flower and turn around. That's the reason why all of this talk about where everybody hollering what they are and what now they get ready to present where they're going to give us 20, 30 different options to choose what kind of gender you are. And I just said it to somebody, and I got this from one of my buddies. There is military and been there for a long time, and he's a brainiac. Oh boy, he's smart. He turned around, he said, I fill out the application for what y'all now they finna have. He said, Felicia, he gets $10. He said, Felicia, they been ready to have a set to where we finna have 20 to 30 different options of genders. This is why it was important to mess with your mind with the artificial sugars. This is why it was important that somebody take a Bible and switch and twist around the wordings of it so that you can be confused. Who is the author of confusion? Evil ones. Somebody that don't like nature. Somebody that don't like what the Creator did and thought that they were better and said, let me change this up. Well, I don't want my watermelon turning into nothing else. I don't want my water to not be clean water. I don't want my body to be broken down at an age and a stage when I know what it takes in order to make it healthy. I don't want my hair gone if I know what it takes in order to grow my hair. I don't want it. You can have it. Ain't nothing you can use that's going to make me think anything else different. I don't like scripture, James. It says that, man, we are drawn away from the lust of our own desires for our own flesh. So what's in your mind? Get rid of that stinking thinking. Get rid of that toxic mind. You can't get to the toxic relationship first and work on that when you ain't worked on your own toxic thinking. Get rid of your stinking thinking. Get rid of woe is me. No, woe is all of us. If that be the case, we're all in this together. Just in case you didn't know, I may be in this kitchen right now by myself. But in this world, it's all of us. Understand that, you all. It's a form of deceit. It's a trick. And nobody likes to be tricked. Even when you come up and somebody try to scare you. Yeah, but something about that skirt didn't feel good. Like, oh. That was me. I used to be so in my thoughts and going what I'm trying to do to it. Somebody, they could always get me every time. They're like, I mean, I could sense them. But I'm moving so fast to where, you know, they, and I'm like, oh, will you stop that? Y'all stop that. What you so scared about? You silly? That's what your plan was, to try to mama scare me. Stop it. My mind is focused on where I gotta go. I ain't got time for the nonsense. So then now when it's time for me to play the trick in the game, now all of a sudden it didn't feel so good. I say, yes, because I had time to think about how I was going to get you back. I had time to think about where your comfort zone is. That's how Satan is. It's like the snake. And it did tell us, the Bible told us to pay attention to the snake. We don't do that. We so busy worried about the poison snake that we don't pay attention to the nature of the snake. And that's why you're always getting bit. I'm talking about me too. You better pray that you got strong enough blood to be able to take and get rid of that venom. You better pray that your immune system is strong enough to get rid of that venom. Clearly mine is. How about yours? I motivate you all and encourage you all to don't give up, don't give in. It's not a coincidence that you tuned in. It's not a coincidence that you tuned in. Everything that we all are going through is there. It's not just a saying, it is. It's there to make you stronger so you can last longer. And in the midst of you lasting longer, we pray that you always be willing to be a student of life and death. Don't just be one that just want to leave a legacy for yourself that makes you look good, but make sure you leave a legacy that can help someone else to truly overcome the darkness that's set out here to destroy us. That's what I want to motivate you all to do. And yes, that does start with what you're going to eat. And I was going to go off until going to grab my watermelon and my mango, but I don't feel like it now. I'm going to do it a little later. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what to do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say that for Wellness Wednesday. Yeah, I was going to come on and I had my own little plan. Well, I want to be funny. I'm be honest. My mind was thinking, that's why it said, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ. Because I had in mind that I'm going to start doing this little setup where I'm being Mrs. Mr. Rogers. And I was going to sing the song for y'all. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. But God led my mind somewhere else. Because it wasn't mine, it was his in the beginning. Everything good that we have does come from a sacred place, you all. And you are supposed to want to protect that with all you got. And it does start in the mind, in the spirit. Don't let nobody take that and continue to make that toxic, and don't make no excuses for it. Get up. Get up, use all this information, take advantage of this information time. You get confused, stop, pause, don't do nothing. Just wait. He'll give you the answer. He'll give you the answer. He will. You got to believe that. If you can't trust yourself anyway, then what do you have to lose? If you can't trust yourself, if I can't trust myself to fix the car, then when you take it to the mechanic, right? Oh, because you've heard that they specialize. You see your neighbor riding around and you see that their car got fixed, so you automatically go to take it to the mechanic. You don't go out there and pull out a book. Some of us do, but most of us don't. Well, it wouldn't be so many auto mechanics out here, so much of a need for it. If you trust yourself to do your own hair, then there wouldn't be so many beauty salons out here. So we can't trust ourselves to do things that we are even able to do. Then how much can you trust yourself to do something that you ain't never done? Like eat right, read your word, positive affirmations, getting caught up in prayer. You ain't never tried it long enough to get no results. Some of us ain't never tried it long enough to get no results. I'm going to say it again. Some of us ain't tried it long enough to get a result, but you quickly go on that 30-day regimen because you don't want to die. And that's good. But that's how we're supposed to apply this to everybody. Thank you, sisters. Thank you, Sister D. Thank you, everyone. That's how we are supposed to apply this to every aspect of life is what I'm learning. It's not separate. It's not different. They got this new little hip hop song. I've been playing it on little Facebook. Some of them seen me post some. I'm different. When I walk up in the street, I'm different. I do this, I do that. I'm different. I'm different. But we really not. We like the beat, and I know I'm a dramatist. But the words, you are different. He said you are a peculiar people. You've been set apart. If you are trying to think in the mind of God, then you have been set apart from the way the world and people that are toxic and people that are sick are. A sick person is going to operate in a certain type of sick way. Why are you expecting them to act healed and they're not healed? I'm talking, look, I've done it too. I'm guilty. And out of all my years of experience, I wanted because I wanted them, because I didn't want to have to feel the pain. I didn't want them to have to be suffering. But we got to be careful with that. There's a process. Yes, there's a process. It is. Now, for me, my challenge is when you say you know something, you better do it. That's my challenge. That is my test. Because I couldn't get to this point if all of my people, if all of my leaders, all of my elders just looked at me and said, oh, she's so cute. Oh, bless her heart. Go and let her go and run out in the street and get hit by a car. Oh, she's so cute. Go ahead and let her dance till her clothes come off. Oh, she's so cute. Bless her, Lord. Go and let her go ahead and eat all the candy she wants so she can get sick and her teeth fall out. Oh, she's so good. And that's what we do. Oh, bless the Lord. She got her feelings hurt. Go ahead and don't let her learn the lesson. Don't let her make friends with whoever she want to make friends with. If my teachers all had done that to me, if my elders had done that, I wouldn't be before you to this day. If God had did that to us, to you, you wouldn't be here today trying to hear no type of motivational nothing. If my husband didn't say to me, no, you can do that. Some of y'all wives would just sit there and just be waiting for a man just do everything for you. If the wives wasn't to help me to say, no, I believe in you. You got to go for it. Stop making excuses. Let's make it happen, Captain. Then our men would wither away. But if you want to run from that, you don't want no help, then the scripture says that the wages of sin is death. But the gifts, the good things in Christ is eternal life. And I believe that eternal life don't mean that you're gonna live 1,000 years, but in some ways it can if you think about the DNA. If you think about how you share your spirit with one another and they remember you in thoughts. Live forever, throughout time, throughout history. That's why so many people are trying to do things to get their history out there so it can be leveled. But even that can be shut off. We see that even in history where they'll shut off a person if they find out that you wasn't practicing what you preach. If they can find anything, because that's jealousy. Jealousy is cruel to the grave. It doesn't even matter who you helping. It's cruel to the grave. It says to the grave, meaning when you dead, the day ain't even done. You know what I'm saying? When you're dead, you're done. No, some people will sit there and still be trashing you while you in the grave. And you ain't done nothing to them. It's just because they're jealous of what your mama was. They're jealous because of who your father was. They're jealous because they didn't have it. And you got to have a mind enough to understand that that's what it is. Instead of boo-hooing and whining and crying about it. You have to. I was challenged to make a decision. I've been propositioned all the days of my life, it seems like. Whether it's to choose which auntie and uncle I wanted to go to, whether it's to choose which grandparent I wanted to go to, whether it's to choose which parent I wanted to go to, whether it's to choose what college I wanted to go to, whether it's to choose what dress I wanted to wear, how I wanted my hair, what I wanted to say. Some of you all have been challenged with that all your life. I've been propositioned just even recently. You know, we got a billionaire, got a millionaire that needs your services. I said, okay, I got this. All right, they can set it up just the way that it is, the way I got a call and all. You got to get in line. What? It's a billionaire. I lie not, you all. On my mama, on my daddy, on my daughter. And then no, I got people that's standing in line. I got people that's waiting for me to get back with them. What did you just say to me just because they was a billionaire? What did you just say to me because they was a millionaire? Oh, don't you know me better than that? What are you saying by telling me that they are a doctor? What are you saying to me? Are you saying that because of their title and their money that they're supposed to come before the people that God has already ordained for me to work with? Absolutely not. Did you hear me? If in your spirit you caught that I'm not playing, I mean I'm not playing. What does that mean to me? You tell me, what does that mean to God? They gotta wait in line too. Oh, well, you must don't care about money. Well, you in a position where I thought that you. No, sounds like they're in the position. And they want to be in this position. They want to be in the position before my other ones but they just giving donations. So what? This is what I've been told to do. You are not my God. But don't you got bills to pay? I do. I'ma say it again. What part of you didn't understand that I'm not doing this just to pay no bills? You should know better. But that's how the enemy does. He's got to try you. He's got to try you when he thinks that you're down. He got to try you when he thinks that your cover's gone. He got to try you when you're moving. He got to try you when your daughter in the transition. He got to try you when your mama's gone. He got to try you when your daddy's gone. He got to try you when your marriage ain't working right. He got to try you when the money's getting low. He's got to try you because that's his position. That's his duty. But more importantly, what is yours? What is mine? So that's my motivational Monday for you all. So do you think the billionaire got called? Do you think the millionaire got called? Absolutely not. I ain't got no point to prove. I got work to do. If all the specialists couldn't do it, if all the money that you got couldn't get you your healing, then that tells me that you need something from God. You need something from somebody that's gifted and anointed and called and appointed. But you got to stand in line too. Oh, it's no amount of money that they won't mind paying. See, that's how the world order operates. That because you got this, because you who you is, you get in front of everybody. That's the world order. I'm in God's order. And when I get out of order with God's order, I go pray to him and he put me back in order. That's how that works. I repent and I get back in order. I encourage you all to do the same. If it's anybody in your life that's trying to proposition, trying to challenge what you have been chosen to do. And it starts with what we think are the little things. And those little things is what you eat. If you can't even make a conscious decision to pop a cherry in your mouth, to eat a watermelon without somebody up in your ear, that's too much watermelon. If you can't even get past that, then you better stay on the motivational channel. And it ain't even got to be me motivating you. You better stay before having your mind transformed, being renewed. You better stay before it, because that's a trick from the adversary. That's a trick from your enemy. It's got to do its job, but you got to do yours. We got to do ours. You got to, they saying, I got to get mine. You got to get yours. You got to get mine. You got to get yours. You better get yours. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. So I waited. It's the last of this testimony. I waited. And I wound up seeing, they said, well, I would never do this. I would never do that. What? Give them the number and let them call in and they have to wait? Oh, really? Oh, okay. I said, well, okay, well, I understand. I guess the condition is not that bad. I thought, okay, well, that's fine. I said, okay, well, then you have a blessed day. Send greetings to your family and have a good day. Just like that. When you move, I move. Just like that. When you move, I move. Just like that. And I meant it. Week later. Oh, how you come along? I hope that before you cut me off. Did you think I was going to change my mind? Nope, I'm not changing my mind. I don't care if I don't have the house. I don't care about none of that. I ain't changing my mind because it's the mind of God. It's the mind. It's the right mind. I'm not confused at all about it. Where I live don't determine the work that I got to do. How else can I be motivated? I didn't do this to be put on Forbes magazine. If I get on Forbes magazine, it's going to be because God got me there. But it ain't going to be because I compromised. You're not going to have me in the background. I got enough that's done come through all my life to trick me up, to have me looking like I'm something that I'm not. I got enough of that. Some of you all have enough of that in your life. It's about time we grow up. It's about time we learn the lesson. We don't have that much time, y'all. Then I get to that high vision, that's grandmama. We don't have that much time. We don't have it. We in that 100-year. We in that 100-year gap. You don't have that much time to get it right. You don't have that much time. You don't have it. Choose ye this day whom you're going to serve. Choose ye this day whom you're going to serve. I choose to serve the God, my creator, the Lord, Savior. Some call him Yeshua. Some call him Jesus Christ. I choose to serve who created them. I choose to choose the one that created the sun, the moon, the stars, the grass, the ones who gave me breath in my body. I choose to serve them because there's much rewards. It says the blessings of God make it rich and added no sorrow. So that means that if having this home is not making me rich, I'm not able to use it to heal nobody like I want to bring no festivities in there. I'm not able to use this kitchen to bring in what goes in the kitchen stays in the kitchen, y'all. What goes on in this kitchen, like the family, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But at the end of the day, you're going to get served a plate. At the end of the day, you're going to get some good food. You're going to get some nourishing food. But what you can't come up in here doing is asking us to give you no toxic food. And I stand firm on that ground because it's enough. We already ain't got the perfected version, the most powerful afterline as possible already. So why would I need to be compromising doing something else? You got to go. We coming in this kitchen. So when y'all tune in on Wellness Wednesday, you tune in on when I pop in for Fridays and we're doing this thing, don't get offended. If you're offended by anything that's said or anything that's done, then may God help your soul. I told you it wasn't going to be a regular cook show. I told you it wasn't going to be that. And not taken down from healing my people. I tell you, I share these stories with you all. I tell you when I'm losing loved ones so that you would know that this is the reason why I'm serious and as tenacious about this and intentionally about this. I can't be your judge, but I can be the one to fix you a plate and give you some knowledge of how important it is that you nourish your mind, your body, and your soul. You don't like it, clean it up, fix it, get it together. He placed it in all of us. Anytime he gives us this information, he don't give us this information, this knowledge. You ain't getting motivated to do nothing. You're not getting information, getting motivated to just sit back and beg. You're not getting motivated and getting the information and being able to share this with somebody else just so you can say you did it. Every everything we do, everything God gave to us, especially as women, we were supposed to multiply it. I don't have one zucchini. I have several zucchinis. I don't just have one book. I have several books. I don't have one word. I have many words. So to try to shut me down, that's out the picture. I don't have one learning. I have many learnings. I don't have one child. I have multiple children. I don't have one nothing. The only one that I need to have is in one mind with Christ. That's the only one, and that's been challenged all my life. And it's all right. That's the reason why that muscle, this brain muscle, that's why this spirit is just stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. This is how you all know when you are doing what it is that the Most High has called and chosen you to do. It's when you constantly are being tested. I will never wear this blouse again because it's getting on my nerves. Never. This is how you know. So I try to go into that one thing, but y'all understand how it works when the spirit gets going, because see, I wanted to, but now I got so used to so many loved ones transitioning that was special to me, and I knew I would get to this point after my mother. I said, man, ain't nothing more painful than the transition of my mama. Now she comes back in my dreams and warn me to everybody that's going to warn me, my uncle, warn me from go call your sister, go. This stuff is real, y'all. You had a praying mama. And some of y'all mamas probably didn't pray and they still coming. I pray that if they're coming back to you in that DNA or through their spirit, I pray it's in a good positive way, because mine's coming back and she making sure that I stay on task. My daughter comes back now to her sister and she letting her know I'm happy. I'm in a good place. Mama took me to a good place. This is my experience. God got me. I'm right here with him. So any of y'all don't believe in that? Okay, that's your prerogative. But see, I know what I'm experiencing, and I know what God has told me to share with you all, so that you all don't use anything as an excuse to give up and to give in. Life is going to happen to us all. Ups and downs is going to, and some more than others. But it is your place to practice that is natural to practice. When you fall, get back up. Don't make excuses. It's just that simple. If you don't know, go find out. Go get some more information. Go get some more knowledge. Ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask the question. And I know I took it, y'all. I took it there. I did. Some of y'all, all right. Hey there, Sister RT. It's so good, y'all, to see you all. I'm going to put my information in, and I do appreciate everybody's patience when you getting back the consultation. That just means that you're going to get more out of me. That's all that means, and I'm not just saying that. Hey, Sister D. Yes, everybody. Yes. Thank you all. I love you all. Please like and share. Like and share to those of you all that think that this may inspire. That's what you do. Like and share. For those of you all that want to call in for a consultation, is 618. I'm going to pray us out. Call in 618-388-8100. You can via text and you can leave a message. And yes, I am at that place, but I know I'm going to be able to make it through it. I know I understand why the distractions came, and it's okay. It came so I would know just how important it was for me to stay on the right path. The tricks came just so that I would know for myself that I could see where the enemy was lying and waiting to see if they could trap me up. The transitions come because he said, I have no other God before me. Ye are little gods. And sometimes little gods want to be big gods. Or we make big gods out of them. Y'all, we have to watch how we worship and how we magnify people. It's okay to have good compliments, but you put them in a really unsafe place when you know that we're struggling in our minds. You put them in a very unsafe place, because these days I do believe that when he says that he is a jealous God, that he can be that because he created us. It could be that. Somebody said, well, then don't that make an atheist would say that, well, don't that make him cruel to the grave? Yep. He give life and he take it away. What you gonna do about it? What we gonna do about it? If he wanted Bill Gates gone, he could take him out when he wants to. Clearly God has an appointed time. If he wanted Dr. Fauci to be gone and done and over with whatever his assignment was, then clearly he would be gone. Clearly it's not that time yet. I'm okay with that. That is not my job to control. Somebody, well, you can pray that somebody, witchcraft. I'm not God. I am not him. I am not that. I'm okay with that. My job is to make sure that I'm not making them my God. But they lord over all your food. Well, grow your own food. But they try to make you take this and take that, deny it. See how simple that is? Last I checked, we ain't in no chains. The only chain is in your mind. Well, I'm addicted to this. I'm addicted. In your mind, you are. Don't go to what you're addicted to. No, but it's pulling me. But it's. And I will say it again. It's a decision. It's a choice that you're making. And you're making it because you think you're getting by with it. We make decisions. All of us make decisions that we feel like we can get by with. Until all of a sudden, the side effects and the consequences that came with the choices and decisions you make, you have to deal with it. Then all of a sudden now, then you learn who father you are of. If you are a father of God or you are a father of Adam, but you want to blame somebody else. When we know what spirit, when you say that for those, this is for the believers. When you say that I believe in Christ, I believe he died for our sins and he this and that and all of that. Now we saved by grace, and that is what it is. Why you keep going back to Adam and Eve? Why you keep thinking that he was that he was supposed to have dominion over everything and that he didn't mean for us? No, we went back to the original way then. To where if you saved by grace, come on now, that's my middle name. That's my definition of my middle name. And it's God's grace. It's grace. And God knows he's had some mercy and grace on me. And I'm so thankful for it. I'm so thankful. And you all should be too, because it's through the grace he's given me that I'm able to share this with you all. My grace is sufficient unto you. But that does not mean that you can't preach this, you can't teach this, you can't say you live this and then keep continuously do the opposite. If you do that, then God, he got to make a living example. That's the reason why it's important to share the testimonies. That's the reason why it's important that even if you got to shut down camp and start all over again, y'all seen that I haven't come on here every time. I've taken a week break. Yes, I have. Well, it wasn't no break. I still had a lot of work to do, but still. You got to save yourself from this untoward generation. It's a lot going on out here, y'all. It's a lot. It wasn't meant to be easy. It was meant to be a challenge. It's only when you challenge with things that you tend to appreciate it once you win the battle. Y'all know that. I used to run and race, and I was fast. It's like I was running on air. And they said, wow, you get that from your daddy too. He was faster than anybody. And we call it having ups. I had the ups. Little bitty old something. Go on. So I had so many running races and runners, I could see myself running in the sky. Didn't know that one day that would become part of my life. That I had to run for Christ, that I had to run for my people, that I had to run some things. I had to run Satan out of my life. And I don't mean push him, I mean through prayer. Lord, anything that's not, some of you all have to get to a place where you start praying and prayer, Lord, anything that's not like you, anything that's not good for me, just remove it. Just remove it. And don't forget that you prayed the prayer. Don't get confused about it. Because I did for a second too. And he had to remind me. My mind had to remind me. That's the reason why the mind is a terrible thing to waste or to put waste in. Because I had to remember, Lord, I did pray this. And I prayed this in a very strong spiritual. And I just had that encounter this Sunday when I visit my God, spiritual father. I had to release. I had to release a cry out like never before. That it was even too loud for my own ears to hear. And then once I released, then I was able to receive. Because that was the pressure. That was the pressure that was on me. That was the pressure that was in me. I had to release it. It didn't matter who was around me. And then I could hear the voice of God speak to me. And it still come back to the same thing after losing daddy, after mama transition, after my daughter, after my cousins, after my uncle. It's still the same thing. You still got to do the work. You still got to. This is still what you got to do. I have not changed your assignment. And yeah, it feels hard sometimes, y'all. It does. It feels so unfair. Y'all think that being cute is good enough. Now, the house, it's a house. It's shelter from the storm. That's it. Nothing materialistic can compare to this. It's a comfort zone, but y'all, but it can't save the soul. It can't make you whole. It was never designed for that purpose. And so that's why I got the strength to come back to you all. That's how. That's the key. It ain't no big secret. I cried to my father just like a daughter would to her father when she hurt herself, like I did with my daddy. Seemed like he was a starless God to me when I was a little girl. Like, Daddy, I'm tired, Daddy. For those of y'all didn't have no father, it's okay. Then your father is up in heaven. Your father is your uncle. Your father was your grandfather. Your father was whatever male figure in your life. You ain't have none. Yes, your father in heaven. Your father's not your mother. Y'all stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I said it. Stop that. That's why all this gender stuff coming from now. That's why they doing it now. You know that spirit, that's how it starts. Now they are calling the mother. Remember the years ago when the men went in the home in the 70s, they started running, and all of a sudden, no, I am your daddy. I am your, no, I'm your mama and your daddy. Now we all confused. Oh, well, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. No. I'm the mama. I'm a woman. I'm a this. I'm a that. Even had some fathers. I am your mother. I'm mothering you. Not a lot, but it was now look. You gotta watch what we speak. Now, in a minute, if God don't intervene, if something if we don't rise up, if the people don't rise up, now all of a sudden we're gonna be giving them to put on there. No, I'm a woman. No, I'm a man. No, I'm a mother. No, I birthed. I got breasts. Because we didn't appreciate it then. We didn't appreciate it, y'all. We didn't stand up enough for that. It's a few of us coming out there, women this, men this, women that. You better flood the internet with it. You better flood it. You better flood it. And then you wonder why in the scripture it says there's neither male nor female. He's talking in the spiros, man. And they done taken that and they done eaten that alive. Then I ask the question, if it's about the male, if it's about then what's in you not being a male or a female, then what's in your spirit is my next question. Now I get the chance to ask you, what kind of spirit do you have? Now I get a chance to try the spirit. Try the spirit of my Father by your spirit. So you still don't get by. Now you're saying that I need to try your heart. I need to try your mind. I need to see what's in it. I need to see what's going on up in there. Whether you hate me or you love me, whether you friends or friend of me, whether you family or you foe, whether you're evil or whether you're good. Now I need to try you now. Yeah, I'm out. I love you all. Know that I know this is just one of the man. This is one of these Mondays. I had to give it to you all. I had to share it. I pray that it helps somebody. I really do. I really do pray that it helped you all and it motivated you. I look forward to coming back to you all very soon. The number you can reach me by again is 618-388-8100. And then you also can email me at Dr. Chef Health and Wellness at gmail.com. And then for Cash App, you all know I didn't get a chance to did I put the Cash App? I put it up in there somewhere. For those you all want to send a token of love or a token of appreciation, then you all know it's Dr. Chef F.A. Jordan is my Cash App. And for my P.O. Box will be here soon, but as of right now, it's still the same address for those of you all that have it. If you need it, then I can inbox me and I'll share the address with you. I did see it's Sister Keena Coder and different ones that were trying to reach out to me. I did see it and I shared it, so you all can check that. And then I look forward to finishing up the consultations that I do have. You all keep me and my family in prayers, and I'm gonna pray us out of here. And I pray you all have a beautiful, intentional, motivational Monday. Get motivated. Do what you got to do. All right, Father, we thank you so much for blessing me to be able to come before your people, to be used by you to do the work and to share the testimonies that you have given me. Prayerfully, it helped penetrate into the minds of your creation. We ask that you continue to comfort the hearts and the minds, the soul, the spirit of our people. We ask that you help keep us motivated to moving and doing that we have been called and chosen to do. That is a good work that you have begun in all of us. We ask that you help heal those who are sick, those who are unable to be able to take proper care of them. Send them the proper care that they need. Help them to be able to overcome anything that comes to easily beset them or that comes to try to make them fall. We ask that you encourage everyone that has been in a place, in a position where they've been waiting for something good and positive to take place in life. We ask that you give them strength, give them the patience. When you say in your patience, possess ye our souls. We understand that possesses our life. If we move too fast, we do too many things that we can wind up trapping ourselves. He asks that you remove that impatience. We send through the spirit of patience over our people today. Help those who know someone that needs that has a broken spirit and may be feeling suicidal, to share it with them so this can be something that can motivate them to be able to press forward the mark of the high calling in their own lives. We thank you and we appreciate you and ask that you continue to please have mercy and cover us from all the hurt, harm, and danger that comes about us. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. I love you all. I'll be back on Wellness Wednesday. I'm going to just put my little information in here for those who that may want to share it and got to send this in. Woo, y'all. I'm thankful I made it. I'm thankful. I'm just so thankful that I made it through this time. I know once I shut it down, I won't be able to put it in.
that number in there, y'all. Yeah, this computer is so sensitive. So sensitive. I'm not complaining, but yeah, I'm gonna get another one someday soon. Because I don't like the other ones that I've had don't operate like this one. Well, that's not the word that I put in. Oh, thank you, sister, daughter of TMH. Yeah, by all the grace of God, and God bless me. I mean, yeah. So now you know what Satan was trying to fight. He's trying to fight what spirit God originally gave to me, but it won't work because the Most High, He's greater. Yep, He's greater. He said, if you all want to tune off, that's fine. I'm just talking to the sister while I have her, the daughter of TMH. Sometimes I'll do this. I have to go be led of God. I don't. I know when my next appointment time is. I learned that I believe in that scripture that says, "If God is for you, then who can? Then He's more than the whole world against you." And I do believe that it does boil down. I've learned in life, sister, that it does boil down to what you believe and what you can see that works. It boils down to that, and that is where the great separation comes into play. I truly say I used to kind of wonder about it because it's just through time we see. It's just through time. It's no different. A lot of people like to use the analogy, the example rather of the cake. It takes time to bake a cake, and we know it never changes unless you change the batter. You change how small. You have to change that in order for it to change the time that it bakes. Other than that, it's still 35 to 45 minutes, no matter what. Even if you try to put the heat up higher, you notice what happened. You wind up baking on the outside, but it's not baking in the inside. The mathematics was done already. The creation of it was done already, and we're trying to reinvent the wheel. And so now what you see, they got the little microwavable, little portable little cakes that you can put in there. But notice it's in a little cup. And the microwave voltage, the radiation and everything there is so much higher, and it penetrates within in order for that thing to rise. It's toxic as it is, but it's not a whole big bomb cake. It's not a whole fruit cake. So it didn't know what change. No, we have to change. Middle-aged stranger by design. Oh, that's different. Love and prayers to you, Dr. Jeffries. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate it. Thank you, Sister D. You have a blessed day too. I don't know which D this is, but if it's D Haynes or if it's D Demetra, then you know I love you dearly. And if it's that D, then congratulations on graduating from nursing school. You know I love you to good life. I love all you all to good life. I don't like saying I love you to death. No, I love you to good life because even after death, I'm going to remember you. I'm going to remember you. Yeah. If I can't remember you, then I remember your children. If you ain't got children, I remember what you done. Hey, Sister Tara and Sister Israel, Sister Tara. Yeah, I like when y'all say greetings to each other. I don't get married. Hey, Sister Janelle, how y'all doing? Hey, bro. Hey, bro. I don't know if you're still in, bro. Brother Rashad. Hey, how y'all doing? Yeah, this is part of life. I mean, I get choked up. I get choked up a lot. But like you said, I'm learning. I'm learning. Then I have to practice what I preach. You can't preach strict. You can't preach motivation and you're not motivated. You can't preach that or teach that you can make it and I'm not making it. It's simple, y'all. We just live in a world that intentionally complicates things. It does. It complicates it on purpose because they got an agenda. Y'all know the agenda. We all walk around here howling about it. And he got an agenda. They trying to depopulate us. Well, you know that, then why you listening to them? Think about it. It's just that simple, y'all. Why do we do that? Can somebody tell me that? If you know that they got an agenda, then why would you be trying to do anything that they do? Why would you be going to their stuff? Why would you even be supporting anybody that's supporting it? Pressure, social pressure. Get around leave the social club. Well, they not gonna like me. Well, what does it matter if you dead? What does it matter if it's destroying your life? They ain't gonna like you then either. All they gonna do is mock you. And see, look at see. You know how people are. Yeah, well, why didn't you? Well, you knew that you shouldn't. Then now all of a sudden they start telling you what you've been saying all along. That's how Satan do. That's how your enemy do you. He'll mock you. Hey, Sister Jeanette. Oh, okay, I see. He'll mock you. But y'all got to understand he can't do no more than what his creator have allowed him to do either. If he's there to challenge you, it's to work out something in you. Nobody is above that, no matter what your title is. Nobody. None of us is above being challenged. I heard a sister telling me, say, well, maybe you should do this and maybe you should have something. Maybe I should. I said, how about I got one better for you? Maybe I'll pray about it. And then I'll see what decision that I should make. And then I prayed about it and I did. And I agreed with her. Yeah, maybe I should change that. It doesn't take nothing away from me. They took nothing away from me to say that. I said, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Well, I've had people say, well, you kind of blunt sometimes. Not too many people tell me that I offend them, but there have been situations that I've been in, and those who've been used by the enemy in my life. They tried to say, different things, and I had to tell them. I said, well, if this was together, then I wouldn't have no need to tell you about it. So how about if you don't want me to notice it, then don't do it. It's simple. It's simple. I'm not designed to see how people fail at things that are simple, things that God has placed before us to do. I'm not that person that's going to see somebody on fire and not go try to grab a sheet or some type of way or try to take off the fire. I'm not the one that's going to stand in shock like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. No, my brain kicks in right away. Rescue. I just shared it with a brother down there, and he's about close to 400 pounds. And he's explained to me, yeah, I need to get healthy. I need to do this. I need to do that. Willing to pay for his consultation and get things done. And I said, oh, okay, brother. He was like, yeah, saying I had to give him the simple example. I said, do you think that the lifeguard ever drowns? I said, do you think that a lifeguard is? I said, no. I asked him, I said, don't you know? No, I asked him, I said, do you know that even lifeguards, so many lifeguards per year drown? And he looked at me like, huh? I said, yeah, lifeguards drown. And he said, what do you mean? How? What? Because the big wave, big? I said, no. Because sometimes they take on people that's so hysterical, people that's so in fear, that where their strength increases. And then
pulls them down under with them because they're so afraid they hitting and knocking them out. Some cases where I read and found out about where they even knock them out through being so hysterical out of fear that they knocking out the, and before you know it, now the lifeguard, the person who was sent to save them, to help save them, is now going under with them too. And we have a lot of that going on today, y'all. A lot of that, where you got people that God in place in our life that help you to overcome, help to save you. And what we do is we get so fearful of all of the others, knowing you should. They knew they wasn't a good swimmer. They knew they shouldn't have been going out in the deep in the first get. And in some cases, things life came, something came in the water, the wave, or the test may have pushed them into that direction, whichever way you got out there in the deep. Whether because it looked as safe or not, you can't fight. You can't bite the hand. We like to use you can't bite the hand that feeds you. We gotta learn how to stop killing stop killing the messenger, stop killing the people that's been placed in your life to help you. It's the first thing that we holler when they met. Oh, the woman is to help me. The woman is to help me. The woman is to help meet. They didn't say that. Nowhere did it say written where you get the chance to choose how to help. It's to help. I'm sure that it meant to help you meet whatever vision God, perfect will and good will God had meant for you to help that person in. That's what that means. So you're a good friend. It states that we do good to find one good friend. I'm just giving you examples. We do good to find one good friend. You find one good friend. A man do good. A woman do good to find one good friend. Then that's a friend indeed that can stick closer to you than a brother. That means that if that friend is telling you something that's good for you, that don't get mad at them and say, you ain't my friend, just because you want them to tickle your ear, just because you want them to tell you what make you feel good, but that's not good for you. That is your friend. If they telling you what's not good for you, that is your friend. That's your friend. Whether you like it or not, everybody that's around you, just because you patting and somebody rubbing you, it could be patting and rubbing you and trying to stroke your ego just so they can get something out of you. In most cases, that's the case. We have an engineer to be our own worst enemy at times. Oh, yes, exactly. We are. That's true. Sister, yes, absolutely. We have been engineered. But see, that engineer is not greater than the master engineer, than the actual one that created the mind to be an engineer. I have a lot of engineers around me. I love them, and brilliant minds. And a lot of them are very unhealthy too. They zoom right into how to create something. I'll be sharing that with you all next week. God say the same. He blessed me with I'm coming across a scientist. I met the brother before, but because of where I was at, somebody was trying to pull me away from him. And I was with another sister of mine that was introducing us. And I was like, yes, I need someone that's going to look at the food. I don't have time to do all this. This is area. He's an engineer of this. He's a scientist. And I'll be sharing that with you all. Perfectly, we'll get a chance to get him to come through with one of the cooking shows. And y'all are like, oh, man. And I think they're going to want to. Trust me, they're going to want to. And he's going to make the time. We're going to make the time. Even if I got to take this laptop to where they at, we're going to make the time. And so I never like to get so focused on the problem versus solving the problem. That's what I'm saying. And when you have a healthy mindset and when you are taking in the good word of Yeshua, when you are taking in the good word, and when you are taking really, and I mean taking it in, you'll never be focused so much on the problem more so than what's the solution. That used to be said to me all the time, and I liked it that. What is the solution? I would say what's wrong, and they would say, what is the solution? And I was like, okay, that's good. Yeah, okay. Because now my mind is going back to how it naturally would think. That's the solution. Okay, well, let me start working on the solution. Now, I promise you, if you're working on the solution, you ain't got time to only be focusing on a problem because you're too busy trying to focus on fixing it.
Now you can't be fixing something and breaking it I'll take, in some cases you do. Some things you have to break down in order to reassemble it. And that's how our lives are. That's how our brains are set up. Somebody gave you some toxic thinking, gave you some wrong information. Now you got to find other information to correct that you have been taught that was the wrong way of doing something. It happens all the time, especially even with eating healthy. It happens all the time, sister. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Where I do, okay, well, I didn't know that I was supposed to do a whole cup. So half a cup. I didn't know I was allergic. Well, now you learn. Now you have to try something else different. Everybody's DNA and mindset is not the same as what I've learned how to pay closely attention to. And you can always hear them how people respond. You can always tell too when they're rejecting help and when they're rejecting knowledge that's really good for them. And when they're in that stage, they're in the withdrawal stage. And you have to understand not to take that personal. And I'm telling you, I know. I've been in places, where somebody fight me and I'm trying to just get the blood pressure. Or they resist it and they real but I've later found out that it was because they knew that after being checked that they were going to be administered toxic drugs that weren't going to be good for them, and they didn't like the way it made them feel. See, you have to be willing to look into the souls and the spirits of people in order to understand it. So there's nobody that I have had a fallout with. Nobody that I know of. Nobody. That once they come back to me and we talk things out, that we don't get our understanding, that they don't understand that I love and I care about them. And there will nobody, not even my exes. Yeah, I said exes. Mm-hmm. No. It always come back full circle where we can have the healthy conversation. And they understand better because it's not a focus of control. It's not a focus of manipulation. It's not a focus of a God complex. It's not a focus of, it's not focusing on your minds. That's not the focus anymore. The focus is okay, what was it? What was the reason? Because they go to find out it's very few that will love and care with the love of God in them, even if I got bothered and upset with them, because I know they know better. I experienced it with my siblings. They, no matter what, they try me. I'm the oldest. What you expect? They go try me. And I was like, nah, well, I'm sorry. I said, I know, I understand. You was in a rough place. And that did hurt. I didn't like it. You shouldn't have lied. But God, you have mercy on me, I have mercy on you. Blessed are the mercy, for they shall obtain mercy. I can always go back to that. Yes, we must be the solution to the problem. Absolutely. Sometimes we can be. Sometimes a person got to be their own solution, though, especially when they don't want it from nobody else. That's what I learned. Accountability is a major one for our people. Accountability, sister, I've learned is a major for our people. Accountability is a major for our people. Nobody want to be accountable. Everybody want to. But yeah, just because somebody presents something to you don't mean that you have to receive it. I wrestled with one of those a couple of times in my life because I don't like being tricked and I don't like being lied to. And I know a lot of y'all are the same way. I don't like being tricked and I don't like being lied to. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it because I know that it's one of the things that we really have learned how to be passive about and make excuses for. It's one of those little, what we call a little sin, but people done lied and got people killed. That's the reason why I believe that somebody thought to write in there that you have a separate link, a separate type of danger for you being an impulsive liar. Because it's just with simple words, just when you lying, that can cost somebody their whole life. We see it now, even in our justice system, when somebody lies somebody now, a man locked up for 20, 30 years just because of false witness or somebody lying because they trying to keep somebody else out of trouble or because they trying to cover themselves. And now that man done lost his hope. He's standing behind bars because somebody lied on him. You got people running around here not liking people because somebody lied on them. That's a serious offense. Lied and stole their property. Lied and that is a true Jezebel spirit. She lied to get that land and killed that man. But look at what her end results were. And we think Jezebel spirit is about her earrings and makeup. Not unless they luring you, not unless they getting like that just to lure you into danger. That's more like a Delilah spirit. You want to know where your strength lie. I'm careful with people that ask me where my strength lies. So I'm always glad to say in God. Nah, your arm's too short to box with him. Go right ahead and try it. Go right ahead. I don't tell them it lies in my mind. It don't matter now. I don't got my mama. I don't got my daddy. I don't got my grandparents. So you can't go after them. I got some children left, but now after experiencing the transition of my firstborn, which is like an angel to me that I learned a lot from. You can't even try me with that either. So I say again, God knows what he's doing in our lives. He knows what he's doing in each and every one of our lives. And even with the choices that we make, even the God in you knows how to get you to a place to where you are supposed to be. But you do, it's true. You don't necessarily force us. Some of y'all like to call it the universe. The universe don't necessarily force you. And then they even force you. But if it do get you to a place where it got to force you, then just know that road ain't going to be easy. I used to ask them all the time. I said, man, this got to happen. That guy, man, how hard-headed was I? You can't ask yourself that sometimes. How hard-headed was I? In order for God to have to allow this, that, and the other. And then we like to chuck it out. Oh, well, they curse. They just curse. Yeah, no, you just like to curse too much. Stop talking about cursing. Everything ain't a curse, y'all. Most of this stuff is stuff, the decisions that we made. Stop it. We always trying to blame something on something else. Instead of just, no, it was a choice you made. You acting like your father Adam. That woman that you gave me, the snake did it, the serpent did it, the evil one did it. No, but what did he tell you to do? What did he tell you to do? And us women, we can take on that same spirit too. You can take on your father's spirit. You can take on your father's spirit. You can go back and start using Genesis and all this so-called religious folks. We good at it. We find anything we want to in that Bible to try to fit and suit us and skip over all of the stuff that we know that we need to be applying to our lives to help us. It ain't no different than you going down that grocery store aisle and you pass up all of the fruits just to go to some chips. You made a decision. I wanted some salt. Go get you some olives. I want some salt. I'll get you a lemon. I guarantee you go suck on the lemon, you ain't gonna be wanting no more salt. Yeah, I know I'm telling the truth. Go suck on the lemon. I promise you ain't gonna want no salt. I had to find it out, and I've always loved lemon. I do contribute to lemon for me staying in my what they call quote unquote BMI. I do contribute it, just so y'all know. I've told some of y'all, sister Jeanette, you know it. I agree with you 1,000. We must be accountable to ourselves first before we can be accountable to others at times. Yeah, that's true. At times, yeah. Like he chose that and says we have engineered to me. Okay. Yes, exactly. We have the solution, y'all. There is no reason why we're at this stage of life and acting like we don't have the solution. There's no reason why we're making excuses for ourselves. The foundation is all broken. And it didn't just, one of the starts is how we're raised.
But that's why you hear the term to the age of accountability. What does that mean? Even in court, now they trying children at 10, 9, 10, and 11 according to what they feel that child knows. Does it make it right? No. No, they shouldn't be up in there with a bunch of grown-ups. We know better than that. We know what happens. We're not saying that the way that they choose to judge them is just. But we do notice that there are some children that are more highly evolved than others. And so meaning they still will fall underneath the bracket of that, to him that know better, to be whipped with many stripes. When you get into a position, even in your career, it's because if they put you at a higher level where you get a little bit more higher pay, it's because you're supposed to know more than the other people. It's because it shouldn't be because of nepotism. It shouldn't be because it's your friend. And that's when we see everything's all falling apart. I did it before. I know what I'm talking about. One, because they weren't capable. But once they started hiding their addiction, then they messed up everything that we had going. Messed it up. Because they were being dishonest about where they was. So it wasn't even about the knowledge. And so that's what we have to understand. That just like in a job or business or anything else, and you're working at a level to where now you can surpass everybody else, you get paid more than everybody else, then that automatically means then that you are expected to do more than everybody else. Or you're expected to, and we all have been there. Then the moment you get to places where you can't, then that means that you should be honest and be accountable enough to admit that, you know what, this is too much. I need to switch my position. Or no, you know what, I'll take a pay cut. I said that before in my life when I've had a lot going on and somebody wanted me to do certain things. I turn around, I'm honest enough to myself, okay, well then you can pay me this, then pay me a little less then, because I do have these other things that I need to do. I won't be able to invest all of that time. But see, too many of us are not honest enough to admit it because we get caught up in the love of money. We get caught up in what we want to do. And having somebody, we start to telling ourselves these false lies about ourselves. Well, but I do that. No. Focus on the job at hand. Focus on it. I say I'm well balanced because I believe, because I prayed for it. I asked for it. And no, it has not been easy because most of us are not balanced mentally. Most of us aren't. And it doesn't matter. Your reason why is not more important than what you're going to do about it. It's not important on how you're going to fix it once you acknowledge. You got acknowledgement as part of accountability. Acknowledge it first. Wait a minute, you know what? I am sounding crazy today. Acknowledge it. Yeah, I know that I ain't got no proof of that. Yeah, acknowledge it. And that's the problem. Our people don't want to acknowledge nothing. So you can't acknowledge that you sound crazy. Then how in the world can you fix it? If you can't acknowledge that what you did was wrong, then you ain't going to make it right. You're not. It's just as simple. That's what everything in life that we do. Everything. Well, I'm going to eat this hot dog today, and I don't care. Yeah, I know my blood pressure going to go up, but it's and I'll eat that later. Well, then don't bother. I tell people, go ahead and do that. I'm not mad about it. I've asked it many times for them just stay in your corner. Can you just stay in your corner? Just do. I've done it with family members. Just okay, when you get ready to do that, I already know the effects it's gonna have you. So tell you what, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I've said to my children, no, you go ahead and stay on upstairs. And you got all that chocolate in you, go ahead and stay upstairs. Because I'm not finna deal with all them parasites going all crazy, mood swings and all that. Because we wasn't allowed to do that when I was coming up. We weren't allowed. So it is a difference in the times ago because I was trained to where no, you better go in there. You gonna get slapped up, something good. You better You better not even roll your eyes. You better You can't even walk funny. That's how I was raised. Hey there. Hey, Sister Candy. It's good to try to see you come through. That's how I was raised. I'll go back and watch it. It was a good one. It inspired my own self. My goodness. I didn't know that was in me. That's what I'm saying. You got to get pressed. Losing my uncle, transition of our George Washington Carver himself. And pressed that out of me that we got to keep. You can't make excuses. We can't make excuses. It's life and death is a part of living and dying. It's going to happen. That's what I'm starting to focus more so on than just how many people can I save. Everybody don't want to be saved. Some people want to leave this mean world. Some people want to. And I used to think, well, why we do that? Well, clearly you got a purpose in your life. But now, after going through so myself, I'm like, oh, God, I had 1 minute to think about that, y'all. Look, God gave me 5 minutes to think about, oh, well, what if it's just let all this, just end it. I was after Najee transition. I'm tired. And he sit there and he said, okay, yeah, now that you finished with that thought, it's time to get up. And I'm like, they to myself, like, Lord, come on now, really? That's how you gonna do me? Everybody out there to help coach and convince them to stay alive, and I don't even get 5 minutes to soak. I want to soak. You're like, no, that's not what I put in you. You just doing it because you heard everybody else do it. You just doing it. You just became a product. In that moment, you became a product of your environment. But you got to have a clear enough mind and a relationship with your creator in order to be able to get yourself out of that mindset. Let this mind be in you, which was also in him. And that's been constantly with me. It's just something that I can't shake. And now I don't want to. I don't want to, and you shouldn't either. If it's something that's going to save your life, who all you know that sit there and just say, burn me up? Nobody come and just because they have in the bed, they going to ask nobody to just burn me up. Nobody do that. Think about it, y'all. Nobody, go ahead and stab me. Just stab me. You on some drugs. You know it. You done just got it. That's a kite. Oh, I want to jump off the building. Yeah, I feel it. Always something that's messing with the mind, something that's toxic that's gone. It's never when they enclosed in their right mind. Never. That's the reason. That's the ultimate trick. Never. Oh, well, I'm going to leave this whole family. I forget it. You got 10 kids deep and you talking about you finna leave all of them. That's your seed. Really? Just to go sleep up with somebody else. Really? Really? You done lost your mind. You done lost the mind. You done lost your God-given common sense. And it's to everything that we do, it is a sacrifice. It is a consequence. And we don't like to deal with the consequences of it. I told somebody, I said, no, I can deal with the raw truth because I know who I serve. I know who my God is. I know who it is. I wasn't birthed just to be caught up in thinking about what everybody is. I lived my life like that as a child, as a teenager. As a young woman, I lived my life like that already. That only keeps you fearful. That only keeps you making everybody else your God. You cannot progress like that. My bracelet that y'all see me keep on, this is given to me by one of my close friends. That's a nurse. When Najee transitioned, we all had one, and they told me to pick a name. So y'all wonder why I shower and everything. I never take it off. And by the end of the year, and mine say progress. And everything that I do, spiritually, naturally, all in one, progress. I chose at first I was going to choose love. I said, no, I got that. I got love. And I know what love is. I believe I know what the 5 languages love, which is more than that. Ooh, somebody at my doorbell. Yeah, I wonder who could that be. Let me check and see because I didn't let nobody come. I'll be right back. Let me see.
All right, y'all. That's my cue to transition out of here. I love you all. You all have a blessed day. That is